Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Lagos, there lived a handsome man named Edu, but popularly called Edu Dollars by his friends. Edu is a very rich businessman and was very generous when it comes to the affair of women. He loved women and believed he wasn't doing anything wrong. He always told his friends, one cannot eat one food every day. To him, women were food. One day, during his visit to his hometown, Newi, he met a beautiful damsel named Agnes. He picked interest in her, but on getting to know her, he found out that she was from a very poor background. So he told himself, what a poor world. How can she be so beautiful and from a poor home? And without thinking it twice, he came to make payments for Agnes' bride price and promised to get married to her soon. After paying her bride price, he gave her parents a huge sum of money to help take care of her siblings and asked that Agnes joined him in the city, to which her parents accepted. Agnes was excited. She felt it was a dream. Who is this man that just saw me, picked interest in me, and is ready to help my family? So Agnes joined Edu and journeyed back to the city of Lagos. When they go back to Lagos, Edu showed Agnes her room and asked her to go freshen up. After Agnes was done freshening up, Agnes made meal, they ate and went to bed. The next day when Edu woke up, he quickly asked Agnes what she would love to do, as he wasn't comfortable leaving her alone in his house. And Agnes told Edu that she loved to make dresses, as she was a seamstress back in the village, just that the pay there wasn't that good. Edu decided to enroll her in a seamstress shop for a period of time. He told her that probably what you've learned in the village is how to sew all those Mbeke village style. Here in the city of Lagos, you have to learn to sew the trending style if you want to be on the top. To which Agnes accepted, and it took her to a friend's shop so she could learn how to sew. With this, Agnes was glad. She never knew that something like this was going to come her way. She had worked all her life in the village, lived her life in the village. Agnes was only done with secondary school, as her parents couldn't afford to send her to the university. Although Agnes was done with just secondary school, Agnes could speak proper English. She was very, very coordinated. She dressed neat. She was smart, beautiful and curvy. She was an outstanding lady. She was that lady that when you see, your jaw must drop, because she was very pretty and curvy. The fashion shop Edu had dropped Agnes wasn't just making dresses of female alone. They made dresses for both male and female. There was a section for the female and there was a section for the male. It was like the best tailoring shop in the city of Lagos. Agnes was glad as she could learn how to sew both for female and for male. While in the tailoring shop, a lot of people tend to admire her as she was picking up every information so fast. She wasn't slacking in any way. There was nothing that was told to her that you had to repeat twice. She was picking up every information that she was given quick and fast. So it wasn't hard for Agnes to learn most of the trending styles in Lagos, as she was fast in everything she did. And she always told herself that there was no room for laziness, knowing where she's coming from, knowing the fact that her family is waiting for her. So there wasn't any room for laziness. She needed to do everything and do it well and smart. With this, Agnes made sure that every dime Edu paid in the tailoring shop never go to a waste, as she made sure to attend every day. Even the days where she had serious menstrual cramps, she would get up from the bed and make sure she went to the shop. One day, Agnes thought to herself, how come he paid my bride price and we sleep in the French room? Is that how it's supposed to be? Sorry, something I failed to mention was that Agnes was a very naive person. Apart from the fact that she loved to read, study, and be a better person, she could be totally deceived when it comes to love, as Agnes had no one. She had no history of love. She hadn't dated anyone before, even in the village. So whatsoever you told her or whatsoever you showed her was what love meant. She believed that was how it was supposed to be because she had no idea of what true love meant. Thinking to herself, if she and Edu were supposed to stay in separate room, but she couldn't figure that out as in the village, she knew her both parents slept in the same room. So is it quite different in the city? In the city, do people actually stay in two different rooms as a married couple? Edu really takes care of her. Edu gets her whatsoever she wants. But Edu for one day has never laid his hands on her. She quickly snapped out of it and told herself, he's saving me for the big day. Obviously, he won't want to touch me till after he has done the wedding proper, so I don't embarrass him by getting pregnant. She quickly smiled to herself and said, wow, what a loving and caring man I got for myself. He's so charming. He really puts me first in everything. So Agnes thought to herself. But this soon got annoying the moment Edu started keeping late nights, as Edu always came back late. Either he came back drunk or not, he was always keeping late nights. Initially, when it all started, Agnes always waited for him to get back home before going to bed. But one day, when he returned, he asked her, why are you waiting for me? Go and sleep. No one asked you to wait for me, or don't you have somewhere to be tomorrow morning? Madam, Rola, go and sleep. That words really hurt Agnes as she felt that people should look out for their partner. Why will he ask me to go and sleep when I actually care about him? I called him numerous times and he wasn't picking. I thought I should be able to wait for him because he's not around. Or does that mean I can sleep without thinking about him? What if something had happened to him? I would be sleeping, and when they call me, it will look like I don't care. Even if he doesn't care about me, but I do care about him. He brought me out of the village to come here and be a better person. I really don't know what his problem is, but I hope whatsoever my head is telling me is true. As I hope he's not just playing me. But he can't be playing me as he had paid my bride price. Or did he pay it for what? I don't even understand this city people. Why is he behaving like this? She went to bed as she couldn't even get the answers to her question. Edu was becoming a different person entirely, and she couldn't force him to become the better person, as she didn't even know much about him before even accepting to follow him to the city of Lagos. Edu always made Agnes cook meals whenever his friends are coming around. Agnes will make beautiful platter and present it on the dining table. His friends always cheered her and told her how good and nice and how delicious her food was. Edu looked at them and smiled and said, obviously, she's from my hometown, so she should be able to know how to cook very, very well. Agnes felt a bit happy about it, though she didn't know how to really feel, as Edu don't even speak high of her food. Whereas in the presence of his friends, he really speaks high of her food. Agnes had a mixture of happiness and sadness at the same time, as she couldn't really tell where Edu was standing. Was he trying to present her to be this in front of his friends? Meanwhile, he's actually different. But that didn't get her too bothered, as she really wanted to know why Edu had paid her bride price. So, she just kept on hoping that one day everything was going to get back to normal. But Edu's late nights kept on increasing. It got bad that Edu comes back by 3. And she asked herself, what kind of business does he do that he comes back by 3? And even when he returns, he doesn't return the same way he left. I really hope this man is being truthful to me. Why bring a woman and keep her in your house without making your intentions properly known to her? Where do I even stand in his life? Am I just a chief chef to him? Probably I was brought in here to feed him all the food he likes to eat whenever he wants to eat it. As Edu made sure to make his food timetable for Agnes, and she had to make every meal the way he had asked her to do it. One fateful day, Agnes decided to confront him about the issue as she wasn't feeling comfortable about it. And she quickly asked him, where do I stand in your life? Because from the look of things, we sleep in 2 different rooms, which is not common for married people. And you always come back late. You barely call me. The only time you get to call me is when you want to tell me what you want to eat. And when you have some information about something, you don't call me, you don't check up on me, You've never even been to my room. Edu looked at her and said, what's your problem? Is it a bad thing now that I brought you out of the village and you're staying in a very comfortable environment? Did you even pay me for all those things? Maybe I'm the one that took you to tailoring school. I don't even understand, madam. What's your problem? That I paid your bride price. Have I gone to marry you proper? Must I come and stay in your room? Or you want me to come and be romancing your ego or what? Leave me alone. Oh. Leave me alone. I don't even know why you're asking me all these questions. You should be happy that I brought you out of the gutters. And I'm here pimping you. Why are you even caring about what I feel about you? Whether I feel any way or not, I have paid your bride price. So you're my property. Don't even try to offend me, please, Agnes. The way we've been living in this house without even caring about each other, I love it that way. So please, it should remain that way. Don't. Agnes was a bit offended. Hal was trying to know where she stands in his life, make him offended. This wasn't the life she wanted. This wasn't her dream. This wasn't the kind of marriage she had looked forward to. Why bring her to the city of Lagos just to make her a housemaid for him? What kind of lifestyle is that? But she didn't know what to say, neither did she know what to do, as she was almost rounding up with her tailoring class, and she didn't want in any way to miss the opportunity of Edu opening a shop for her. And she had learnt a lot and couldn't wait to show it to the world. She kept calm and kept her peace. After the confrontation, Edu started bringing in the girls to the house. Rather than taking them out, he would bring in the girls to the house. And the moment they come, he will quickly ask Agnes, Aggie, please make me 2 portions of pepper soup. I and my baby want to eat pepper soup. Agnes was so upset. I don't get. So this man married me to become a chef in his house. But she couldn't fight him. Edu had paid a lot of things in her life. Not just that Edu had paid her bride price and paid for her school, Edu constantly sent money home to her parents, trying to paint the image that they were living in peace, trying to paint the image that their daughter was fine. So she couldn't even run away. Run to who? Run to where? Who will believe her? Not even her parents at all. Because they always called and told her, oh, thank your husband, though. Now all the kids are going to school. Oh, thank your husband, though. He sent us monthly allowance. Oh, thank your husband, though. He did this or he did that. So who would have believed anything she was saying? So she kept quiet and kept her peace. But she even asked herself, is this how love was supposed to be? Was he trying to finish living his youthful life, then get married to me when he was ready? At times she feels excited about it, but at the same time she asks herself, that isn't the case. He would have kept himself. If he wants to keep me till marriage, then he would have kept himself too. Why keep me and misbehave in my front? It doesn't make sense. But she doesn't even know what to do, as nobody was even going to believe her if she tried to express herself. So she kept quiet and watched him do all the things he did. Edu kept on bringing in various girls to the house. Skinny, chubby, curvy, and Agnes was always making the meals for them. Agnes practically served them as if she was a maid in the house. Agnes wasn't comfortable, but to her, that was the price she had to pay for the joy of her family. And this was the kind of love she found herself in. One day, Edu was hosting his friends as usual. And this time around, Agnes was made to make ishewu. After Agnes was done serving the food on the dining and the friends digging in and enjoying themselves, one of the friends, Patrick, quickly asked Edu, oh boy, how far? Are you getting married to this lady or not? Why tie her in your house and you're not going to get married to her? You just practically turned her to a maid in your house. You don't show her any romantic feeling in any way. Where you even be? Which part are you? Are you her husband or what? Or do you think she's now your property? Edu quickly looked at Patrick and said, bam, 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 bam. I don't even understand that thing you're saying. Who drag your mouth inside my family matter? Eh? Is it your business? Did she come complaining to you? Whether she's my maid or my wife. The main thing there is that I have paid her bride price, so she's my property now. So I don't even understand why you are putting mouth inside this thing. Are you not enjoying the food they give to you, or you just want to talk? Which one is your problem? Patrick quickly apologized to him and said, I'm not trying to insult you. I just want you to know that if you don't pay attention to this lady, you're going to lose her. That bride price that you think you've paid, do you think another person cannot pay it? Do you think another person cannot pay it? Okay, make it zoom nanya. When another person go and pay her bride price and the family return the one you've paid, you better wisen up. If you want to marry her, marry her. If you don't want to marry her, let her go. Just know that she's just one of your charity case. No need of tying this young pretty lady in your house. Edu looked at him and said, pretty kwa. You would have told me that you had eyes on her. Are you the one that wants to go and marry her again? Better don't try it, Patrick. Better don't try it. If not, you know what I can do. In the heat of the argument, other friends quickly tried to calm Edu and Patrick down. And they told Patrick, my dear, this thing no concern you. Allow the man to run his family the way he wants to run it. But one of the friends again, Obi, asked him, but why are you treating her this way? Because from the way I can see, people live like total strangers. Then Edu opened up and said, my dear, after I paid her bride price and brought her to Lagos and started doing everything for her, I found out that she's just a naive village girl. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't even know anything about bed. So having to go teach her is doing me somehow. On a memo somehow, nation. I don't know what I will go and do. Will I go and tell her, okay, you have to keep your mouth like this to kiss me, or you have to do like this? Like the feeling is not more there. I know, yes, they are village girl, but I was thinking this particular one would have been able to know something. That night when I brought her, she was just logo, like log of wood. So having to initiate it, I didn't know how to. You know, I'm not that kind of guy. You know how girls used to flock around me now? More edu dollar, edu pounds and dollar. All I need to do is to go to beer parlor. She knows her way around me. So how do you expect me now, the kings of the girls, me that if I sit down like this, one girl know how to position me well, I will now start teaching another girl how to do it. My dear, I'm not a good teacher in that aspect though. I am a good receiver. I don't know how to teach her how to do it. And she does not even look like someone that is interested in doing it either. So what is it? We are two opposite people. We can't just fit in. And I don't even know how to go and return her back to her parents. I've started helping her. So to me, she will just be here till the day I decide to get married. If I don't get married to anyone, no, and I'll get married to her. The main thing there is that I'm helping her. And she's okay. She's not complaining. She's working in the best tailoring place. Very soon she's going to open her shop. So what is the big deal there? When I get old, she will still be here to take care of me. Whether we born or be we no born, I'm still okay with it. Unknown to them, Agnes was by the corner is dropping. She couldn't believe the words coming out from Edu's mouth. She, Agnes, that had looked forward to a romantic relationship, is the one that he's planning to keep in his house till he gets old. Without a child, how does he expect her to initiate a romantic affair without speaking up? If he was used to the club life, used to the fact that girls come and flock themselves around him, he should know that this is a total different person. You don't bring a bottle of Coke and a jerry can and expect the bottle of Coke to behave like the jerry can. Can a bottle of Coke contain the water a jerry can? What kind of man is this? So why did he even pay my bride price in the first place? If the romantic feeling ended after that, he would have told me. So he just wants to keep me in his house. Wow. Agnes stepped out of the house immediately and went to a restaurant. Because she didn't want Edu to know she had overheard them, she cried. She sat down there and she kept on wailing. This was the highest disrespect she had gotten from anyone. How dare he? Who does he think he is to do this to her? Yes, she's naive. But at the same time, if he had taught her, maybe she would have been able to. So now, what is his plan? If he decides not to get married to her, so at any age he decides to kick her out, she should go look for love. Les was upset, really upset. She kept on crying and crying. How dare he? Who does he even think he is to choose a life for someone? How can he live his life and live someone else's life? While Agnes was still crying, a young man walked up to her and he sat down and watched her cry. Agnes cried her heart content. And when she was done, she turned and noticed that the young man was still sitting and looking at her. Though he looked so bad, like someone that was still crying with her, but she couldn't even understand his interest. She quickly turned and looked at him and said, "Good evening. I'm Agnes and you are?" And he quickly said, "I'm Frederick. I'm sorry. I was actually feeling bad and that's why I came here. But seeing the way you could cry yours aloud made me know that yours might be serious." Frederick smiled and told her, "Nice meeting you. I hope you feel better now. I heard that most times when you cry along with someone, you tend to feel better." Agnes laughed. She couldn't stop laughing. I never knew that theory. So when two people cry, they tend to feel better. Wow. But we are not crying for the same reason. So why are we going to feel better? Frederick quickly smiled and said, "I'm glad that you're smiling because the way you were screaming in tears, someone would have thought you lost a soul." Agnes quickly smiled and said, "Thank you very much for comforting me. Thank you." Frederick quickly dropped his complimentary card. Agnes knew nothing about him. She was just looking at the complimentary card and did not say anything. She just told herself, probably this is his number. And that was it. Frederick offered to drop her home, to which she accepted, and he dropped her off. When Agnes returned back home, she noticed that the pile of plates were waiting for her there. She helped herself. She washed everything, had a bath, and went to bed. The next day was her graduation from tailoring school. Nothing could ruin her day. And while she was there, preparing to receive her certificate, she saw a man who looks exactly like Frederick. He had attended the graduation and he was standing close to a pretty lady. And Agnes asked herself, wow, he has a nice lady. Frederick had brought flower for the lady who he was standing close to. Whereas Edu just came empty-handed, looking at Agnes as if she was a billboard. Agnes told herself, I wish Edu could be a bit more romantic, a bit more nice. At least I've not known anything about it, but at least I watch in the movies and I know how people are supposed to treat their spouse. When the graduation was done, Agnes was happy to be receiving her certificate as she could now open her own tailoring shop. Prior to the graduation, she and Edu had gone to search for a good tailoring shop that she loved and had paid for it and gotten all the necessary equipment. So, getting this certificate and rounding up was a dream come true. She was glad to be opening her own shop. After the graduation, they returned home and partied. Agnes was glad. Though she doesn't take alcohol, but that day she was open to take a glass of wine. As to her, that was the first step towards victory. Something she had never knew would come her way had come her way, so she was excited. The next day, Agnes quickly opened her shop and she looked forward to having customers. Though she knew she wasn't going to quickly start having the customers, but she had bought different fabrics as she was going to sew them and style them on different manicure. And while in her tailoring school, she had a friend called Olivia. Olivia had advised her to open an account on the internet that when she begins to post her work, people might see it and like it. So whenever she was done making a particular dress, she was going to snap it and post on the internet, believing that when people get to see it, they're going to like it. As the days went by, while she was sitting in the cafeteria one day, she saw Frederick again. But this time around, he was all alone. She was a bit scared to go sit with him as she didn't know the way he was feeling, if he was okay or feeling bad. But the moment she pulled a seat to sit down, Frederick rose his head and called her name, Agnes. And she looked up and greeted him, good afternoon. And he quickly said, you can come join me. To which Agnes did. After she sat down, Frederick allowed her to place her order. And while the waiter was about bringing the meal, they got talking. Agnes quickly told him, I saw you in my school. Frederick looked at her and said, what school, sorry? And Agnes said, I graduated from a tailoring school not too long and I saw you there. Frederick smiled and said, wow, I never knew. I did not see you. You people were quite much in number. Actually, my kid sister was graduating from the tailoring school too. Agnes smiled. Wow. I actually thought she was your girlfriend or your wife. Frederick looked at her and laughed. Wow, why do you think that? And Agnes told him, the way you hugged her and you people were so close, I thought that she was your girlfriend. I'm sorry about that. Frederick said, no need. We've actually been very, very close right from when we were little. We were three, my elder sister, me, and my kid sister. My elder sister is currently not in the country, but we are all close. We're three and we're very, very close. So that's normal for us. We hug ourselves tight. We give ourselves peck. It's a normal thing for us. Agnes was just smiling to herself. Growing up in the village, it was believed that the junior ones should respect the elder ones sincerely. And you don't speak anyhow to your elders. But the way Frederick and his sister had behaved to her, she never knew that was normal. That was a common thing at all. So while they were eating, Frederick tried to get to know more about Agnes, about her family, about her life, and about her story. Agnes was quite open to talking to Frederick, and she felt relaxed with him. She shared everything about her family and how she had come to Lagos. But one part she never shared was if she was married and what the marriage felt like. She just told Frederick that someone had helped her to come to Lagos and she decided to go to tailoring school. Frederick was excited. He was glad. She was very, very, very smart. And he quickly asked her, don't you see yourself going to the university? Agnes told him, I'm too old for that. When I attend the class, how will people look at me? Frederick told her, you don't have to attend the class. You can do it online. Whenever you're free in your place of work, you can just quickly do 1 or 2 courses online. Agnes told him, thank you very much. I'm so grateful. I'll check it out. So they had their meal. Frederick told Agnes little about himself before they departed. But as the days went by, Frederick made out time to always call Agnes, check up on her, and know how she was doing. At this point, Agnes started feeling a bit different. This was something Idu had never done. Idu never even cared if she had had breakfast or lunch. All he cared about was, are you going to school? Okay, this is the money you need. But this time around, it was different with Frederick. Frederick was openly into taking care of her. Most times when she said she hadn't had lunch, Frederick was going to drive all the way to go get her lunch and even bring it to her tailoring shop. This was a total feeling, a total new world for Agnes. One day, Frederick had pleaded to take her out on a date. Though Agnes refused, knowing fully well that she had to be at home by 6. She told Frederick, if you want to take me on a date, the only time you can is by 4. To which Frederick accepted. And when she was ready, Frederick had come to her shop to come pick her up. He helped open the door for her while she sat down and he even closed the door for her. She was confused. Is this a normal thing for gentlemen or for the rich men? It is also rich, but he never does this. But she was living in the moment. She was enjoying everything, the gifts, the flowers, the constant call. At this point, she started feeling guilty, as she had not even told Frederick that someone had paid her bride price. And how was she going to tell it to him? One day, Frederick visited Agnes in her place of work and asked her if she had found her voice. Agnes was a bit confused. Voice? I don't get. Frederick quickly told her, the voice I'm talking about is not your voice per se. What I mean is, have you found what gives you joy when it comes to fashion, when it comes to making dresses? You don't have to stick to all the things you've learned in school. From what you've learned, you have to create your own style. You have to create your own brand. And that's going to be your voice, because whatsoever unique style you come up with, everybody is going to remember you for it. So I want you to understand that it's not all about sewing everything you've learned from school, but creating a design that the world is going to know you for. And that is going to be your voice. Agnes was excited. How come Frederick is this supportive? Whereas it does not even care if she goes to work or not. All that mattered to him was going to his own place of work and hanging out with girls. Whereas Frederick takes his time to check up on her, send her lunch, and even try to get himself involved with her day-to-day activities. Was this love? Or was she just overthinking everything? But she didn't know what to do. She was beginning to develop feelings for Frederick. Too shy to let her feelings known. And at the same time, she didn't want to sound like a fool to him, as Frederick had not even let his feelings out to her. So was she going to be the one to first go tell him how she felt? She told herself, you have to keep all these feelings to yourself. If he never says anything, then know you're his friend. So you're not here catching feelings, whereas he's friend-zoning you. That would be very, very painful. But as the days went by, Frederick clinching to Agnes became more intense, as he always took her to all the dinners he had to attend. Be it company, personal dinner, hanging out with his friends. He introduced Agnes to everyone that mattered to him. At this point, Agnes knew that something was up. Edu had never introduced her to anybody except his friends who comes to eat at home. But this Frederick, this man, this person is taking this whole thing to a different ride, as Frederick is making moves in all ways. Frederick was the only person who takes her out on a dinner date and cleans the under of her shoe, opens the door for her, and makes her feel comfortable. And the days she's feeling cold, Frederick is going to remove his coat for her. Like, who does this in the city of Lagos? Where is that love? How are they going to get it? Agnes had so many thoughts in her head. Is he really genuine? Or is he going to be Edu Pro Max? Someone who is going to get you, and at the end of the day, you're going to still suffer? Agnes didn't know what to say, but she knew deep down that she really loved Edu. But as the days turned into months, Edu noticed that Agnes hardly came back on time. She was always coming back late. At first, he assumed that she was always at work. Probably the pressure was increasing, as he had noticed that she loved making beautiful dresses. He had also noticed that her style had changed. To himself, he just felt she was working hard, paying no attention to whatever she was doing. Unknown to Edu, the days Agnes did not come back early, she was either making dress or spending the night with Frederick, as Frederick always wanted her around. Frederick spoke highly of her, as he made sure Agnes was one way ahead of whatever she thought she was. He had also helped her achieve so many things. Agnes was able to finish school via online. She never knew something like that was even possible if Frederick had not come her way. And she also worked on herself. As Frederick had advised her to find her voice, she didn't just find her voice. She worked on herself, the way she dressed, the way she presented herself, because Frederick knew dignitaries. So she didn't want to sound like a fool to them. She always presented herself well, a lady with high esteem. Frederick was so proud of her. This was a lady that could barely make a full statement without making a mistake. And all of a sudden, she's wonderful. She's excellent. Far better than the way he had met her. But one fateful day, Edu had entered the beautiful dining hall with his friends, and they had just wanted to hang out. But to his greatest surprise, he saw someone that looks exactly like Agnes. At first, he told himself, she can't be. She's not this touche. This lady is looking well dressed. She can't be. But when his friends looked closely, they told him, Edu, that is your woman. No. That is Agnes sitting with that person over there. Edu Simbamba. It can't be Agnes here. Agnes is not even ready to look this nice for anybody. Patrick looked closely and said, Edu, that is Agnes. Wow. Edu was shocked. Is that Agnes? And they quickly asked him, I thought you're living with her. How come you don't know that's Agnes? Edu told them bluntly, I don't really have her time. I just come back, eat food, go to my room. And that's how we've been living. I never knew she had upgraded. I never knew that this whole school something has taken her to a different level. But Edu felt a bit shy to go meet her. But his friends persuaded him. I don't understand though. Are you not seeing the way she's laughing with that man? So you want to sit down here while your woman is laughing with another man? Now you get car. You could wash car for another person. You better wake up. Oh. You see these Lagos boys, they will snatch Agnes off your hands if you don't take time. At that moment, Edu stood up and went to where Agnes and Frederick were. On getting there, Agnes introduced Edu to Frederick, but she introduced Edu as someone who had helped her to come to Lagos. Edu didn't want to show his anger. He just kept quiet, shook Frederick's hand. Frederick also told him thank you very much for his kindness and for everything, and told Edu that he would love to keep in touch with him. So they exchanged complimentary cards. When Edu got back to where he was sitting down, he was angry. And he quickly told his friends, can you imagine this baby? Can you imagine that girl I picked up from the gutters? Instead of introducing me as her husband, she introduced me like as someone who had helped to bring her to Lagos. And his friends quickly said, Shebi, we told you, you go get car, another person go use them for you. Edu was upset. I don't get. So is she too shy to introduce me as her husband? I'm going to meet her at home. I don't want to create a scene here. At least I'm a very respectable man. But the moment he got home, he sat down and was waiting for Agnes to return. And the moment Agnes entered the house, he quickly asked her, hey, you, what's the meaning of that? Why did you introduce me as someone who helped to bring you to Lagos? Did I help to bring you to Lagos in any way? Agnes looked at him and said, boy, you've never introduced me as your wife to anyone, have you? I did the same thing you do to me. Whenever your friends come here, what do you tell them? The lady you helped. Have you ever told them I'm your wife? You told them that you felt pity for me and you're too embarrassed to even lay your hands on me. So how do you expect me to now introduce you as my husband when you're not even my husband? That you paid my bride price, it can be returned. Edu sparked. Who do you think you are? You that I picked from the gutters. How do you intend paying me? Everything you own, everything you earn, and everything you will earn in the future is mine. Because without me, you wouldn't have been able to achieve it. So please, wake up from your slumber. And if it's that guy that is deceiving you, be ready. Be ready that I'm going to block all chains. You're not even going to be able to see him. I don't blame you. More Edu dollar. After spending so much on you and your family, you think you will just leave me for another person? Let me see how that is going to happen. While Edu was about to leave the sitting room, he quickly turned and told her, hey, that reminds me. Be ready. I'm going to go and get married to you properly in the village next week. Agnes looked at him and said, to who? Edu said, to you. Agnes said, no, not me. It can never be me because I'm not going to get married to you. I'm not even ready because for how many months, closely a year, you've not gotten married to me, and all of a sudden you want to go and get married to me. I can see you're jealous, but let me tell you, and let it sink down to your brain. I am not involved in this marriage anymore. You can take everything. I don't care. You can take the shop, you can take the money, you can take the clothes, you can send me out of your house naked. I don't care. But when it comes to the matter of my heart, no one gives you the right to determine that. I'm going to tell my parents to work on returning back your money. But you see me, Agnes, I am not going to get married to you. You threw my love to the ashes. I pleaded with you. I spoke to you to stop bringing back those girls. But instead of quitting, you started bringing them to the house and turning me to your maid to cook for them. Go blow your trumpet. Tell it to the world I'm not a grateful person. But my dear, getting married to you is not going to stop you from cheating. You're not even interested in me. You're neither even interested in anything I do. So why do you want to get married to me? Because you're jealous. You're jealous that you saw me with someone else. And you want to prove a point to your friend. I am not going to get married to you. And that is fine now. Agnes looked at him and walked away. But the next day, when she woke up, Edu had locked her inside the house and left with the kid. And he quickly sent her a message. My dear, there is no turning back. You accepted the first time and you must accept again. I don't mind bundling you to the village, but be ready, we are going to get married soon. Agnes sat down. She cried. She cried deeply. Why is Edu making a scene out of nothing? Why? Frederick has not even told me how he feels. And why is Edu trying to torment my life? Is he not thinking that I have customers to attend to? How is he going to lock a full-grown adult inside the house? What's wrong with him and why is he behaving like this? That evening, when Edu came back, Agnes served him his food and she put sleeping mates in his food. At the moment Edu slept off, she quickly collected the house key and ran out. And the moment she left, she lodged in a hotel. As she didn't want Frederick to know anything about it, as she had not even told Frederick the truth. She stayed in the hotel for weeks. She always went to her place of work from the hotel. As much as Edu tried to reach her numerous times, she refused picking his call. He had even threatened to come and lock the shop. Agnes refused picking his calls for days. And one fateful evening, on a Saturday, Frederick had asked to see her. And when Frederick met her, Frederick asked her why she had been distant this period, to which Agnes said she was busy and she was trying to handle some things at work. Frederick was happy for her and told her, you see, I told you, some days will come where you'll be very busy, whereas some days it's like you don't have something to do. I'm really glad for you. Unknown to him, she was just trying to deal with Edu's drama. While they were still conversing, she noticed that Frederick was unnecessarily excited, but she was trying to play cool with him as Frederick had always been the person to rely on. And like joke, Frederick went down on one knee and asked her to get married to him. Agnes was looking at him shocked and she told Frederick to please stand up, that she had something to tell him. And it is after listening to what she had to say, he is going to know if he wants to get married to her or not. So Frederick stood up and sat down to listen to what she had to say. Agnes told Frederick everything that had happened and why Edu actually brought her to Lagos. To which Frederick said, no problem. You are not fully married to him. If your parents are willing to return the bride price, I'm ready to do unnecessary things to get married to you, provided you're in the marriage with me. I don't want it to look like I'm stealing someone's woman. If you like him, no problem. We can keep being friends. This doesn't change anything in any way. But if you want to get married to me, I'm ready to take things further. Agnes accepted his proposal. She was excited. And it didn't take time. Frederick went to see her people down in Niue. All necessary arrangements were made, and Agnes' parents quickly sent for Edu, stating that they needed to return the bride price to him. When Edu arrived in Niue, he went straight to Agnes' parents' house and quickly told them that they were wicked. When they were eating his money, they did not know. And now their daughter is somebody. All of a sudden, they want to return the bride price. Edu told them, so now, if I had not taken her to Lagos, would she have met someone else? Agnes' parents tried to make him understand that you never treated her like someone you wanted to get married to. Why pick interest in her all of a sudden? Our daughter had already explained everything to us. So now, you just want to get married to her because someone is in the picture. Please don't block road for our daughter, oh? This is your bride price and we are pleading with you. Please, accept it back. It is better you come with your kinsmen to accept back the bride price. Edu gave it a deep thought. Genuinely speaking, he lost affection for Agnes after he had helped her. And the fact that he thought that Agnes wasn't romantic enough, Agnes could not start the move, made him not attracted to her in any way. After giving it thoughts and wanting to become a wicked person by delaying Agnes' wedding, because without receiving his bride price, Agnes won't be able to get married. One day, Edu woke up and drove down to Niue and collected back the bride price, giving Agnes the free will to get married to whoever she wanted. Agnes and Frederick got married and they built a beautiful home, a home that was greatly admired by so many, a home that was spoken greatly of. Thank you very much for watching the story of the day, but before I leave you, I would love to ask a question. Do you think Agnes was wrong for leaving Edo and getting married to Frederick? Do you think all his hard work was not paid for? Helping her to come to Lagos, helping her to go through the tailoring school, even getting a shop for her. And when she found someone, she just left. Do you think that what Agnes did was wrong? And also, do you think what she did was right? Choosing her heart over anything, as getting married to Edu does not even determine that she was going to be happy much later. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please do not forget to support us by subscribing, liking our videos, sharing our videos to your loved ones. Till we meet again in our next. Bye for now.